March Madness continues to roll on to today. Zach filling us in on some expert picks, expert in parentheses
Yeah,
maybe?
expert in parentheses.
Okay, yes. What do we need to know?
Well, if you're a metrics person and you believe in the metrics, there were 8 teams that could win the national title in the field of 68. And it's the KenPom rankings, and it's if you're it measures offensive and defensive efficiency. 7 of those teams still exist.
Okay.
The one team that got bounced out was Auburn. They got bounced in the first round.
Yeah.
Now, of the teams that are left, we only have 2 Cinderellas. And that's NC State here, an 11 seed.
San Diego
and you've
State?
got San Diego State's a
Okay.
5 seed. But I believe Clemson and Illinois are probably the 2 that you're a little questionable about. But I think everything else lines up. You know, you get all the upsets in the first round and the second round, and now it sort of settles down.
Right.
And it's going to go chalk. If I have my way, it's going to go chalk for the rest of the tournament. Start up here with like UConn and San Diego State. I
Sure.
don't know if you followed UConn at all.
Absolutely.
But Danny Hurley likes Red Dragon underwear, and he wears them for every game. His wife is coming with a portable watching machine.
I haven't followed it that closely.
This is information you didn't have going into this. Now, I love San Diego State. I love everything about the Mountain West, but UConn is the better team. They'll win that one. Illinois, Iowa State's interesting. Iowa State's one of those teams that doesn't play well away from their arena.
Okay.
But suddenly they've got it together. They're playing an Illinois team that's playing really, really well. Fred Hoiberg's a great basketball coach. I love Iowa State in that game. Now, here's the one that's really interesting.
That is interesting,
North
yeah.
Carolina, Alabama. Alabama could score with anybody in the country. They just don't play defense. North Carolina is a complete team, but they're up, they're down. They lost to Georgia Tech this year, who was a bad basketball team. I think North Carolina wins that game simply because I think they can lock Alabama down. But if that game gets up around 100 points, Alabama's got a really, really good shot.
Okay.
Now, people laughed at me when I chose Arizona to go to the Final Four because Arizona has a history of flaming out in the second round.
Sure.
This Clemson team was a trendy pick early on to go out early. They've made it. They played really, really well. Arizona's a bigger, stronger, better team, but Arizona has a history of flaming out in early rounds. I think they get that one and go move on to the Elite Eight.
Okay.
Now, this may be the best game of the Sweet
weekend?
16. Houston and Duke. Houston's the best defensive team in the country. Duke has been shooting the lights out. Now, for Arkansas fans, you're looking at Duke going, how in the world is Duke here?
Right.
Duke has gotten better as the years gone along.
Incrementally stepped up,
John
right?
Shire has made them a better basketball team as they've gone along. I think Houston has enough to shut them down. They can score enough. I think Houston will win that game. Now, you get Cinderella here, NC State and Marquette.
Of course.
Shaka Smart has a history of going out when he should.
Flaming out, like
exactly.
you said, yeah.
NC State played 7 games in 12 days to get to where they are. They had a couple of days off. Now they get Marquette. Marquette's a better team. They're a more powerful team. I still think NC State wins that game and moves on to the Elite Eight. Somebody's going to get into that Elite Eight.
They're going to take out the number 2 seed. Okay.
Yeah. Now, Purdue and Gonzaga, this may, with the Houston-Duke game, may be one of the best games of the Sweet 16. These are 2 really good basketball teams. For whatever reason, I was up late a lot, watched a lot of West Coast Conference basketball, saw a lot of Gonzaga and St. Mary's. Love St. Mary's. They get bounced in the first round. But Gonzaga, that's a complete team. Purdue, Zach Edey's not on.
Right.
You're going to have some issues. Yeah, you're going to have some issues there. Purdue should win that game. They're a better team. They're guard-oriented. They play defense. And then you've got a 7-4 Giants in the middle that Gonzaga doesn't have an answer for.
Right.
And then the last game, I love this game, Creighton and Tennessee. For Arkansas fans, if you remember Creighton, you played them last year out in Maui. Creighton won that basketball game. Everybody said, how do you lose to Creighton?
Right.
Doug McDermott's an excellent basketball coach.
Yeah.
My good friend Jimmy Dykes has been telling me all year that Tennessee is a Final Four team. I still like Creighton there, but Tennessee is playing as well as anybody.
Okay. Let's fast forward a little bit. So we have a little bit of time left. Who are your picks for the Final Four?
I like Houston. I like UConn. I like Arizona, and I like Creighton to get to the Final Four. I like Houston and Arizona to play for the title. Houston to win it.
Houston to win it.
Houston to win it. Kelvin Sampson finally gets his national title. That's a really, really good basketball team.
Okay, you heard it here, folks. And also, let's switch over to the women's side. Who are you picking there to be the champ this year?
It's the SEC Invitational. It's South Carolina and it's LSU. It's Dawn Staley, it's Kim Mulkey, it's Caitlin Clark. You know, everybody likes to focus on Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I think we've kind of forgotten how good South Carolina really is. And LSU as well. Angel Reese, the defending champs, they'll play for the title.
Yes. Give me a name, men's tournament. Who's the MVP?
Wow. If we're looking for the best player and the MVP are probably 2 different things, I think Edey, if they somehow advance, Zach Edey is your presumptive National Player of the Year. He'll be your finals MVP.
Yeah.
You can pick any one of the players off Houston who can go off at any time and lock up a couple of players.
Okay, I've got a new bracket to go create now that we're into the Sweet 16. Zach, thank you for that.